Hello, students and parents. I want to welcome you back to my podcast, How to Play the Game of College. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you have a copy of the book. Super easy. Just go to my website, www.drshawnboyd.com, and grab a copy of the book. Today, yes, I like that product placement. Thank you, Dr. Hampton. With that being said, super excited to introduce my guest for today. I'm so excited to know this guy and to introduce him to many of you all. Dr. Logan Hampton, he's the 10th president at The Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee. Welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd. It's a delight to be here, to be with you again.
Yes.
And, let me thank you for your presentation to our scholars here at Lane College on how to play the game.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
No, I thought it was the presentation was well received, and we'll have you back.
Thank you.
The audiences that we want you to present to. So.
Appreciate that. Thank you. It was a joy to present to your students and staff on today. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into the interview today. What I want you to do, Dr. Logan, is to just kind of talk about your journey to president, right? Many times, and we talked about in one of my workshops, a lot of times students kind of see us the now, but not really hearing our journey to really get us there. So if you don't mind, kind of take us down memory lane into how you got to your current role as president.
All right, let me try to do the abbreviated version.
Yes, abbreviated version. Yes.
So let's go back to college. Let's go back to 1981. I graduated high school, and I go to college. I major in biology, and I'm thinking about being a medical doctor.
Okay.
The summer before I went to college, I accepted my call to the ministry.
Wow.
And so when I began my journey, I'm thinking, I'll be a minister or I'll go and be a doctor.
Okay.
And so that's just the path I'm on. My senior year, I get to my senior year. And so I'm starting to apply for medical schools. And I'm serving as a supply pastor for a little church. My church will send out people to preach in churches that don't have a full-time pastor. And so I did that. And so one day the church secretary comes knocking on my apartment door. I open the door. I'm standing in front of this woman with no shirt on, and I ran track, and I only have my little track shorts on.
Okay.
And it's hard there was a language that we had to describe, but I don't think it's useful in a podcast.
Okay.
but there were just little shorts that I had.
Okay.
And so
I said, where's the story going, Dr. Logan?
I see her in my door, and she has this woman I've never seen before in my life.
Uh-huh.
So I invite them in, and then I go and put some clothes on.
Okay.
And I come back out, and I say, and I call her name, and I said, so I'm trying to be a pastoral. And she tells me that the woman's husband has died, and who's a member of the church, and that they want me to conduct the funeral.
Okay.
I'd been to 2 funerals in my life. One for my grandfather when I was sitting on my dad's knee, and I remember being moved by the fact that my dad was crying. I didn't really fully understand why my dad was crying. And then the other was when I was serving as a supply pastor, and I had another senior pastor who was generous, who came in and said, who just did everything. And so we do the service and go through it, and it was wonderful. I mean, it was a great experience.
Okay.
But it was clear to me, man, as a pastor, there's no separation.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So, and I was applying then, about that time, I was applying for medical school. And so I went on a medical school tour, went to while I was interviewing.
Uh-huh.
And the student who was taking me on the tour said, sometimes the sun will catch you in the lab while you're trying to figure out the nerves on the hand.
Right.
And I thought, I'm going to be in the lab all night with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the next 4 years doing that.
Right.
So it's interesting. I had a crisis of faith as it relates to the church.
Okay.
I think it's really changing. Do I really want to spend my whole life doing this thing in medicine? So the things I thought about ministry and medicine were like, I don't know what I want to do either.
Right.
But I had been involved in student activities.
Okay.
And so I was in student government. I was in the student activities board, NPAC council. I'd been doing all that thing.
Mm-hmm.
My advisor, my mentor at the time says, well, have you thought about working in student affairs? And I thought, you can do that? I was I guess that's a career.
Yeah.
So I went to graduate school, got a master's in student personnel services, and started doing some of the same things that I thought about that I wanted to do in ministry and medicine, that I wanted to help people. I want to help people develop. I want to help people with their problems.
Right.
And that's what I saw student affairs as being able to help me, give me the opportunity to do that. And so I made that journey and started student affairs. After about a decade or so, I did find my way back to ministry.
Okay.
And so then I was bivocational. So I was a pastor and in higher ed. So just kind of kept making that journey.
Okay.
So, the point comes where I'm a pastor and I'm the chief student affairs officer, and the job comes open at Lane College.
Wow.
And I thought, Lane College, a church-affiliated Christian college, provides me an opportunity to combine my two passions.
Yes.
Passion for education, my passion for salvation, all in one place, under one. And so, so here I am at Lane College.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I love, how students kind of hear, sometimes I feel like they just think that we have it all together and we just always knew that, hey, I want to be the president of a college or I want to work in higher ed. And we have similar stories. I never knew I was just like you, great college experience, NPAC president, all this great stuff, but not really knowing you can actually work in higher education, right? And so I love how you tell the story of like, hey, I'm kind of having a dilemma with, ministry and helping people, and how they really both just kind of like came together for you. That's an awesome story. And keeping on the same line of Lane College. And so in the book, I talk about how to select the right college for you. And as we know, there's so many different options, from HBCUs from 4 years, for 2 years. We have technical colleges, and the list just goes on and on. HBCUs, historically Black colleges and university. Can you talk to us about them? And again, this podcast is going to students who's kind of looking to make that choice or decision when it comes to college. Why should a student look at a HBCU or have it on their list?
Yeah, this is so I've worked at highly selective private institutions.
Okay.
I've worked at the nation's top research institutions.
Okay.
I've worked at regional institutions, worked at metropolitan institutions, and now I work for a liberal arts Christian residential HBCU.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will tease from time to time and say, I don't know what took me so long to get here.
Oh, great.
These environments provide an experience as a scholar and even as an employee that is decidedly different outside of this space. The value add in this space, where one is able to develop close personal relationships with students, as we market that all across the country. But at an institution like a Lane College, you're able to develop those type of relationships with your faculty, with your staff, and even the president of the college, if you so desire. These institutions are where persons are able to truly find their voice without some of the struggles that one would have at other institutions.
Okay.
And a part of that struggle, and I say, is there sometimes, and I just remember, when I was, let me just speak candidly.
Yeah.
When I was at some PWIs. I'd get this really bright, African-American student, and even when I was down in Texas, Hispanic student who was very bright, but the cultural makeup of the institution was such that it brought this thing out of the student. The student was like, I'm going to make sure everybody knows, what it means to be Black. And so then they spend a significant amount of energy being Black.
Right.
As opposed to the energy that they needed to spend learning quantitative chemistry or
right.
learning social stratification.
So true.
And so they would just kind of get off track a bit. And then you kind of have to bring them back to say, okay, I get what yes. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you with this.
Right.
What I need you to do is go to class. Master your subject. Now, if you're planning to be a civil rights lawyer, you're in good stead. But if you want to medical school, if you want to be a sociologist, if you want to be a corporate accountant,
right.
you got to get advanced accounting.
So true. Yeah.
And there's that, when you sit for that CPA exam, there's not someone that's going to be sitting there asking, you a question as to whether or not you would now cause master.
Right.
So I think at these institutions, if that is your experience and that is who you are, then you might serve yourself well by attending the HBCU so you can come and master your subject area. But then I'd say the other side, we have non-African American, we got white students, Hispanic students, and Native American students here. And one of the things that's the beautiful thing about that is that I don't know of any industry now that is not looking for persons who can deal with diversity, who can manage cultural, ethnic diversity, who can deal in diverse situations. If you're a white student and you graduate from a Lane College,
right?
The mayor of our city right now is a graduate who happens to be a white guy. Guy Conger graduated from Lane College.
Okay.
He just had a very rough, very tough election.
Okay.
And, had a lot of support in the African American community. He did not go around, he just was himself.
Right.
Told his story, and folks knew him. He didn't have to prove that he supports all citizens.
Right. Exactly.
By virtue of who he is and how he has lived, we see it for ourselves.
Right.
And so I'd say, for the African American student, for the non-African American student, for a white student, Asian student, yes, this is a place where you can come and develop strong relationships with your faculty. At the feet of the scholars who are teaching you or who are pouring into you, know them personally, get their personal recommendation for graduate school and first jobs. That's our secret sauce. Able to, because we are credited. I mean, the same way that we used to use that phrase, fully accredited, but that's kind of tricky thing. It's hard to try to figure out. But but our Comp 1 at Lane College is Comp 1. Let me get out. So big at Harvard University.
Right. So true.
It's Comp 1. College algebra at Lane College is college algebra at the University of Southern California.
Right.
Our faculty are strong, qualified faculty at our institution. Is fully accredited.
Yes.
What makes us different is we're small, and we can actually touch and have impact. On each of our scholars.
So true. And just a fun fact, I got into my career in higher education at a HBCU, Lamont College, that's located in Memphis. And I love how you said the same thing. I got a chance to witness that personally. I presented to a group of students at Lane, and you can just see, number one, Dr. Hampton came to the workshop, and I asked a question like, hey, looking at your president, what does he represent to you? And just the words that I heard about, hey, he's caring. He takes the time to talk to us. He wants us to see us do great here. He wants us to go on and get a job. Just some of those things. And like you said, sometimes at a larger university, it's rare that the president is going to stop at a workshop or really get a chance to know each and every student on that campus. So I'm glad that you said that, Dr. Logan. And again, a lot of times when we hear HBCU, sometimes that folks, again, we're talking sometimes to first generation college students who might not know, and they just assume that it's all Black students that go there, right? But as you just said, and I'm a witness. You got students from out of state. I heard California today. I heard Baltimore, white students, Black students, just a good diverse mix of students. And so again, glad that you're sharing that knowledge again to our students who might not be aware of what the HBCU represents. So thank you for that. Over your years of higher education, again, you have gotten a chance to work with many different students. If you think about a student over the years, right, that you saw actually come into Lane, right? They're successful, they persisted, they graduated. What are one of the strategies that you have noticed over and over again when we talk about students who get to college, persist, and graduate? Can you share one of those strategies?
Man, you're gonna limit me to one. If you just make me,
well, give me two. Give me two.
All right. So, but if you make me just say, if you make me just do one,
okay,
I will start with time management.
Time management. Okay.
I'll say scholars, you're listening to me. Listen to me. You will not get into an institution. You will not be admitted. You will not be accepted into an institution where you are not able to make a 4.0 GPA. Y'all hear me on this? You will not be. The places that say, yes, we invite you to come be a student here. You have the ability to be a 4.0 student.
So true. Yeah.
The thing that separates scholar skills, scholar habits.
Right.
You can develop the scholar skills by putting in the time. Scholar habits, that's a matter of time management. And the thing that separates the students who achieve at the highest levels and the students who do not is a matter of how you manage your time. Students who, wherever you are, there will be time robbers, people, places, things, events, these devices that will steal your time.
Yes.
And you must manage them. So if there are people that want to steal your time, if it's a gaming system,
right?
You gotta manage those. And if you manage your time effectively, even if you walk in and you need to develop your scholar skills, if you put your time into developing that skill set, you will.
So true.
There's no information that we put in any book you can't learn.
Right.
You can learn at the highest level. It's
so
just a matter of time. How much time?
Yes.
So if you tell me one thing,
I was gonna say they pretty much hit every different thing, like you said, if you can get that under your belt, man, everything else is gonna come how it's supposed to come. So again, time management is key. And again, I thank you for sharing that strategy. Mentorship is a chapter in the book, right? And we talk a lot about the importance of students getting mentors. Do you mind sharing a story of maybe a mentor that you have now, or just kind of as you were going through your college journey that kind of helped you to navigate that process? And why do you suggest that students maybe get a mentor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in this field because of mentors.
Yeah,
I talked about Jimmy Ferguson. I mean, at the time, I wouldn't have called Jimmy my mentor.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, these little. I mean, well, I'm short, so I'm like, he's a little. We're looking eye to eye.
Right.
He's an Asian male, who took an interest in me and took me to some of my first travels, my first airplane rides.
Yeah.
Trusted me, on campus, helped me through some difficult situations. And we just developed a relationship. So when I got to that point when I was trying to think of a career, I trusted him. He knew me, and I trusted him, and so I built that relationship. I think the best mentoring relationships occur organically,
right? Yeah,
and they occur as a result of some intentionality in terms of building the relationship. And so I just encourage scholars, build a relationship. Now, you want to build a relationship with people that perhaps maybe have the same worldview. Maybe some have a different. There's some diversity there. But you're going to find some commonality. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I'm into the church, and Jimmy was one of those fellas that that was a faith person, the person of faith, and did his church work. And so I knew that about him. That was important to me in terms of having a relationship. He's a solid guy, family man. That was important. And he was smart as well. So I'm gonna try to learn at level that he's learning. So I saw some things in him that I wanted to, that I aspire to. And I think that's the kind of thing you want to see something in someone, and you want to get to know them a little better, and then just allow the relationship to develop.
So true. And like you said, mentorship does not always have to be this formal thing. I like how you said at the beginning, like, hey, I just, this guy that was, very important in my life, kind of helped me to navigate. But, sometimes we even think mentorships have to have this great suit on and they have to look a certain way. But hey, like you said, get someone that you have some, common things and, I'm sure common goals, some life things with, and of course, that you can develop that trust. So when it comes to like trying to figure out grad school, or you need a letter recommendation, or if you're looking at career choices, you have that person in your corner that's going to really give you some sound advice. Can you believe, Dr. Hampton, we are at the end of the interview, and I have one more question for you.
Okay.
The value of college, right? And so a lot of times when I'm talking to students, I saw how you looked on out. I'm talking to a lot of students, right? I'm out high schools. And a lot of times, students, when I ask a question like, who's looking to go to college? It used to be years ago in my higher ed career, everybody had, in the room, hands went up. Now, sometimes I may get 50%, or you may have 20% that's on the line. Due to, sometimes students are just not seeing the value of going to college, or they're getting recruited by Amazon to work at a warehouse. If they can say, hey, I'm going to be making $20 an hour. I work overtime. I'm at $30 an hour. I'm good. I'm good on college. What would you say to their students who might be on the line of like, hey, should I go to college? Is it worth it? Or, hey, let me just go work at Amazon.
Every career position that I can think of requires post-secondary training or education.
Man.
Every career. Now, you say, I want to get a job. Okay, that's one thing. But if you say, I want to have a career, I want to find my passion and live it out. I believe when passion and purpose line up, life happens at another level.
Yeah.
When you line up your passion and purpose, there's no ism, no racism, no sexism, no ableism, no classism. No, as I like to say, no demon in hell that can stop you from being all that you have been called to be.
Man, yeah.
And that's what we do in higher ed in general. And especially, I would say, in Christian higher ed, where we say you got to go to chapel. So you got to struggling with, who am I as a woman? Who am I as a man? What is my meaning in this world? So you understand your values, and who you are. And then you're developing intellectually in terms of a career. You're developing an expertise in a particular area. And when you line those two things up,
man,
you line that up. You are ready for life. You're ready to go run the warehouse.
Man,
work in the warehouse for as long as you can run the warehouse.
Right.
Here's the insidious part about that. About that whole notion. I've started telling folks, college is for everyone. And I'll say this to students. I'll say, repeat after me. I'm talking to grade school, middle school. College is for everyone. They'll say, college is for everyone. And I say, and especially for me.
Right.
I want them to know that, Dr. Boyd, because we're preparing students to live in a world that's dominated by artificial intelligence.
Yes. Yeah. So true.
It's dominated. So, AI will be managed and controlled by someone.
Right.
Someone will be offering the inputs to how artificial intelligence is responding.
Right. Yeah.
It might as well be you, young people.
So true.
And the people who have the education, those are the ones that are going to be on the other end managing those systems.
Right.
It ought to be you. It ought to be you, young people.
So true.
Like the old folks said in my generation, get your education.
Right.
Get your education. They
Yeah,
can't take your education from you. And I
man.
mean that
Yeah.
for whoever you are, for
Hmm.
rural white boy, suburban
Hmm.
Carol, uh,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
American Sheila, whoever
Right.
you are, get your education.
Man.
Don't let anyone talk you out of it. Even if you
So
go
true.
work, even if you decide I'm going to go work in the mall because I like whatever place working in the mall.
Hmm.
Work in the mall and you enroll in Lane College and
Yeah.
your way through your college.
So true.
Don't let anybody talk you out of getting this education that you will be standing on and using for the rest of your life.
Man. Dr. Hampton, can I just bottle you up and take you everywhere? Because this message, and I love how you said college is for everyone. And that's I feel like we need to put that on a t-shirt. Okay. That's something Lane could do. But again, with that being said, Dr. Hampton, you dropped some major gems today. I know students are out there. Parents are out there taking some major notes. Again, I want to just thank you for joining us today. I know your schedule is crazy busy. And again, students and parents, thank you for tuning in to How to Play the Game of College. I want you to like, share, comment on this video. We want to get the word out. And again, you can catch a new interview on next Wednesday, the same time, same place. Again, thank you.